In February of 2006, there came yet another first. It was announced that a company owned by the United Arab Emirates would now manage several major American ports. It didn't take long for politicians to take serious notice. Representative Sue Myrick sent a one-sentence letter to the president that read, "Dear Mr. President, in regards to selling American ports to the United Arab Emirates, not just no, but hell no. The UAE purports to be an ally in the war on terror, but was also the home to 2 of the 9/11 hijackers, and has been a major financial base for the Al-Qaeda terror organization. It also happens to be one of the richest oil countries in the world."
Did any of you talk to the 9/11 commissioners about that representation finding of theirs? Just raise your hand if anybody talked to the 9/11 commissioners.
Turning over the operation of our ports to Dubai was not only a policy mistake, it was a huge political blunder on the part of the Bush administration. It showed how out of touch they are with the American people.
This is a company that has played by the rules, that has been cooperative with the United States from a country that's an ally in the war on terror, and it would send a terrible signal to friends and allies not to let this transaction go through.
Throughout the 3 weeks of controversy, the Dubai ports deal went beyond Washington. After threats of congressional investigations, a divided Republican Party, and public outcry, the deal was off. On March 9th, DP World announced they would transfer its operations of American ports to a U.S. entity. The jury is still out on what that exactly means. What is certain, however, is that a Hong Kong conglomerate will now be scanning for nuclear weapons that pass through the Bahamas to the United States. Incidentally, China recently signed a $100 million contract with Iran.
We cannot outsource our infrastructure. We cannot outsource our security. We have to make things in America. We have to put Americans to work. They pay taxes, they pay into Social Security, they consume in the industry. When you send a job to China, there's no taxes on those people. They don't pay taxes. They don't buy anything here. They're gone. And that's the reality of what people don't understand in Washington, and most of these politicians don't understand. They're basically chasing $1 or $2 and betraying America.
All of this has been occurring at a time when America's economy is hitting record lows. Our trade deficit is at roughly $804.9 billion, while our national debt has reached over $9 trillion. Countries within the euro currency zone were last recorded at having about $48 billion in trade surplus. So what are some countries overseas doing differently? Could they be promoting infrastructure or protecting their local industries and citizens? In the end, the outsourcing epidemic adds up to reduced security for Americans, unemployment, the near disappearance of our manufacturing base, billions in evaded taxes, and the largest national debt in our history.
The American people believe that we are caught in a middle-class squeeze, and they are frightened about what is in store for the next generation because they see our manufacturing base, our industrial base, our technological base being outsourced, being sent overseas. We have to do something about it. In our democratic agenda, we propose stopping the tax credits to businesses that encourage them, imagine, encourage them to outsource jobs.
In Congress, for the last 4 years, there's been talk of repealing tax credits given to U.S. companies that outsource. No bill has gone anywhere that attempts this reform. Perhaps too many in this country still believe that what is good for business is also good for America.
We just pledge allegiance to that flag. How come our corporations don't? They pledge their allegiance overseas. That upsets me.
A.J. Jacobs decided to do a very unique experiment on the growing trend of outsourcing back in September of 2005. The experiment was not about analyzing facts and figures. Rather, it was providing a very different type of insight.
The project I did was I basically outsourced my entire life, everything I could. So my emails, my phone calls, they ordered dinner, they paid my bills, arguments with my wife. I had them talk to my parents, wish my parents a happy anniversary instead of me, which was a big time saver. I outsourced the raising of my son, Jasper. I hired this group of people in Bangalore, India, to do everything for me, so I could just sit back and hang out on a hammock for a month. I got the biggest response of any article I've ever written, which was very interesting. And it was mostly positive. A lot of people said, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, that these people in Bangalore are so confident. I'm going to outsource my own life. So I got a bunch of people who wanted the numbers of my outsourcers so that they could hire these assistants to do everything for them. The idea of having someone capable 8,000, 10,000 miles away doing all of your low-end tasks for you, it's very appealing. They never turn down a task, or rarely turn down a task. Even the most absurd, boring, mundane things, they'll do them, and they will do them thoroughly and eagerly and happily. It was a remarkable experience. I felt there was almost a little bit of an imperialist feeling, like I'm the American and I'm making them do these menial tasks. So there was a little guilt, but they were so good for my ego because they told me how great I was every day that sort of outweighed the guilt.
Perhaps AJ's experiment is warning us about the irresistible temptation by American business for cheap, skilled labor. Or perhaps the spread of the outsourcing epidemic from national defense to our private lives says we are losing faith in the American worker. Perhaps outsourced cheap labor, no matter how unsafe, will soon become the new American economic system.